Hello everybody, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. Good to have you looking at us this week on the show. We've got Patrick here, the Football Daily's own Patrick McKeamy.
Born and bred Football Daily.
Indeed, that's right. He bleeds Football Daily Weekly. And Joel from Cheeky Sport.
I'm back. Actually, no, I'm here for the first time.
Marcus.
Lovely to see you, mate.
And you'll be coming back on.
Oh, hello, mate.
Like that.
It's a very different show when you're watching.
It's already got cheeky.
It's intimate.
Yeah, that's
That's what it is.
in your face intimacy with Joel from Cheeky Sport.
Football and a cuddle.
Let's talk about, let's embrace the Premier League with 5 things that we learned from the weekend's action. First up, Chelsea aren't the force that they thought they were, and that we maybe thought they were. Or are they, Joel? I mean, at one point from there in 2 games, but Mourinho said it was a fake result.
Let's not go over the top now. It's
Okay.
only 2 games played.
Says
right?
the man who just kissed a hug.
Let's
calm down.
Let's calm down now.
Stop playing with the thermostat.
Let's not get too touchy about the situation now. 2 games played.
Yes.
Of course, it's a bit of a disappointment, especially because they've given Man City, it's like, what, a 5-point head start already?
They have.
That could prove to be detrimental at the end. I think where Chelsea might slip up is this whole, their forward line. I don't understand it, you know. I don't want to go too off, but I just don't understand the whole
thought the defence was the problem, and I think it showed. I mean, John Terry played every minute of every league game yesterday, and I just thought when he went off, I mean, the second goal was the corner, the set piece. So Chelsea just don't concede those sort of goals. They all look directionless, and it showed, I think, how vulnerable they are with without John Terry. You see why they're kind of just throwing offers for John Stones, one after the other. You know, because
But you say they look vulnerable without John Terry, but actually in the first half, Manchester City created loads of chances.
Yeah, but I think that first Aguero goal, we can see it there. I mean, he's surrounded by Terry, Ivanovic, Cahill and Matic, and it was just out of this world sort of talent.
The first 20, 30 seconds or whatever it was, Aguero should have scored.
Yeah.
Do you think it's mostly because, I know you're the one supposed to be asking questions, but
Don't
do you think it's mostly because Man City had something to show you? You know, it's been a while, let's just say. I mean, every time Chelsea played them, I know when Jose Mourinho played, even when they didn't, when Man City won the league, Chelsea beat them twice, home and away.
That's right.
Do you reckon that's got something to do with it? Kind of like the whole Arsenal thing, even though Arsenal won, doesn't really mean they're going to finish on top of Chelsea at the end of the season. I mean, does it, viewers? I don't know.
I think you're right. There is a sort of a vengeance-y kind of thing going. It's similar to, you're right to compare it to Arsenal. It's a similar thing with Pellegrini and Wenger. It's these kind of they're grudge matches, aren't they?
Exactly.
Kind of
But Chelsea though, they look sluggish.
Yeah.
Whereas Manchester City looked.
They look very fit. They look very sharp, very
it's
fit.
amazing what summer can do.
Yeah.
It is.
Chelsea.
I mean, how is anyone get past them? And now they look brittle.
Very
and
true.
tired.
But you know what? And I was very surprised as well, the fact that as soon as Yaya Toure said, you know what, I want to stay here till I'm 38, all of a sudden, it's just like, bam.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were saying on the show last week he was supposed to be past it. Like,
He's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And Silva's, like, he's looking great. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
Oh, fantastic.
Navas played really well yesterday. I thought he was on his way out with that performance.
That's right.
Keep him in, mate.
Well, and Vincent Kompany as well last season, by his own lofty standards, wasn't as world-beating as we've seen him. Yeah, you're agreeing.
I looked at him. Sometimes I thought, what are you doing? Sometimes he'll be kicking the ball in the air, missing it. I thought, it's not really. That's not the Vincent Kompany we know. That's more Chris Smalling. So,
Arsenal have responded. They beat Crystal Palace 2-1. They're back in business. Always a tricky place to go, especially with big Alan Pardew in charge. But a decent win for Arsenal. Patrick, they slightly ground it out, and Palace were pushing forward at the end. But a win's a win's a win, as Brian Clough once said.
It was a great, away performance by Arsenal. I mean, on the show we did last week, I predicted 2-2, so I was 1 goal out.
Yes.
But I thought, I thought Arsenal did business.
Well, to put it another way, you were wrong.
Yeah, well, you know. What I was going to say was I thought Giroud took his goal wonderfully. The ball was actually behind him.
Yes.
And I thought it was a fantastic goal. However, I thought, who was it had that chance? I think Crystal Palace did hit the post late on, with the goal gaping. So there wasn't, it wasn't like the Manchester City game. But I was very impressed with Arsenal. They had to respond, and they did.
I was very impressed with Arsenal, but to be fair, I was also very impressed with Crystal Palace. I mean, there were times when I was looking at I was watching the game and I thought to myself, blimey, these guys are actually controlling. They had spells when you could see Zaha was causing problems. you know, I think West Ham and Crystal Palace, they're probably going to be aiming for around the same positions. I mean, top 10. That's what I'm thinking. You know,
Europe maybe. If they get a run together, you know, who knows?
I mean, it's tricky with Stoke having strengthened and Swansea looking very good.
Yeah. I mean, they'd have to do those kind of sort of that fair play kind of
yellow
cards thing or something.
Right, okay.
But all that kind of stuff.
But Palace could be on for a very good season.
No,
as you say, Pardew's he's got pedigree in the Premier League despite his troubled times at Newcastle.
Yeah.
They've got players there.
He's a good manager.
Cabaye in there.
Cabaye, that's a great signing.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget the young boy Bamford.
I was about to say.
Excellent loan.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Excellent. Honestly, they've been missing someone up there.
They have.
You know, that could
they've got a few good strikers. I mean, Glenn Murray scored a lot of goals in the Championship, and he got a few because he had an injury.
Yeah, he did come back and he had a little run.
That's right.
Well, he was a great sort of impact substitute as well for moments as well.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to be an impact substitute.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And also Connor Wickham as well.
Yeah. I want to see what he does.
Yeah.
And Balassi as well.
Yeah,
well, he's a winger, not a striker.
But he looks like he's going to be the top prize. I mean, for Crystal Palace, if you look at what he did last season, I mean, I think his price tag is just. Apparently, he was thinking of leaving, or
really?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I starting rumours here?
Well, maybe you are. A few cheeky.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Cheeky transfer.
Cheeky transfer, football daily hashtag stuff.
There you are. You see, but Arsenal though, it was a good win. Sanchez was back.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it was credited as his goal. I think it was Delaney own goal.
Yeah. You've got to be there.
You have got to be there. He could get an assist or something.
I mean, he deserved it. I mean, he was put the pressure on and things like that. I mean, there's not much he could have done about it.
I wasn't criticising him for not.
He's like the same height as you.
At least,
and
you know, or at most.
You know,
Hang on a minute, the viewers don't know how tall Marcus is. He's always sitting down. So he's a very
He's always
small
sitting
guy.
down.
That's it,
Or he could be a giant.
I'm not even sat down. I'm on tiptoes here.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Arsenal there? I mean, obviously a terrible first day of the season for them. They've responded quite well here. What we're going to see from Wenger in the coming weeks? Are Arsenal going to go on a run?
Do you want to
You go on. You
Yeah.
give it a swing.
I live for this one.
Joel.
I live for this.
What are you thinking?
Arsenal.
Are they going to go on a run, or are they going to sort of?
Yeah, they always go on a run. But
Okay.
you know, the truth is, everybody knows where they're missing something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, goalkeeper was one of the positions.
Yeah, but it's like everybody forgets, right?
Remind everybody.
Everybody forgets. Some people say, well, no, you know, Wenger's now buying. He's now buying again, so there's no problem. He knows what he's doing.
But Wenger hasn't bought that many.
Yeah, need I remind you, when he bought Ozil, he was probably going to get sacked, or he was under a lot of pressure. Last season, the beginning of last season, when he bought Sanchez, he was also under a lot of pressure. The reason why I know that is because don't forget, he went out and he got Welbeck. Yeah, I was one of the people putting the pressure on him, but he also went out and they got Welbeck and they made it permanent. Why? Because they needed someone. They were panicking, you know.
Manchester United are getting their business done. They're getting their business done, gentlemen. 2 wins.
Business done.
Indeed. 2 1-0s. They're playing badly and they're getting results. Some people say that's the form of champions. I like to think that champions play well.
We said we weren't going to resort to that cliche.
Well, and you didn't. I did it for you. And now you have a blank canvas to answer the question. Joel, are Manchester United going to be the Manchester United that Louis van Gaal wants them to become this season?
This season, possibly yes.
Possibly yes.
I'll be honest with you. When Van Gaal first came in, I was like, nah. You know.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, I think his style of management sometimes is a bit outdated. Reason why I say that is because you got Jose. Jose may appear to be the guy that stops Eva Canero from coming on when he wants to or whatever, but he knows how to play the one-to-one, you know, managing role so well. You know, he convinced Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard was the best player on the planet. Even Frank Lampard said he wasn't sure. But he played like it. You know, Van Gaal sometimes comes across a bit too honest to me. And I feel like
schoolmasterly kind of way.
yes, do you see? And sometimes I think you're not going to get the best out of the modern player.
Well, which is why, I mean, we're not sure where Pedro's going to end up. He could still go to Manchester United, but there were reports in the paper.
Or Man City.
Yeah, true. But there were reports in the paper that Pedro said he wasn't sure about going to Manchester United because of this style of management, Louis van Gaal.
Was it him or was it the former Barca player?
Well, Valdez, I think, had been talking to Pedro because obviously they're friends, and Pedro seemed to cite that as a reason.
Really?
But that just could be hearsay.
However, I do think that sometimes it's needed.
Right.
You know, and I'll be honest with you, if you look at
Well, his trophy cabinet would suggest.
Well, his trophy cabinet. I mean, but if you're looking at how he's dealt with the whole De Gea situation, yeah, I hope United don't lose out on money overall. But that's a big statement right there. You guys are on the bench. He's brought in a new keeper who's done very well. You know, Darmin's done very well. I mean,
left back.
Yeah, left back. I mean,
It's a right back.
Right back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's a
it's
full
like,
back.
yeah, right back. Sorry, replace Raphael. I mean, it's
They need a centre back there, don't they?
They do, but Chris Smalling is like, he's feeling himself recently. You know, I don't know what regime he's been on, but I like it.
I say that, but like we say, they haven't particularly played. I don't say they played badly, but they haven't been spectacular.
True.
And they haven't conceded a goal. So I mean,
Claudio Ranieri has started with a bang at Leicester City. 2 wins out of 2, top of the league, chaps. This is incredible.
joint top of the league, I think.
On goal difference?
Are they not actually top? I think Manchester United.
Oh, Manchester City.
Manchester City.
Manchester
that's
City,
right,
yeah. Well, they're up there.
Yeah, they're
Will
up there.
they be up there come the end of the season, Joel?
Well,
That's an easy one to start
no
with.
matter how good the Tinker Man is,
Yeah.
I don't think his tinkering skills are that good.
True.
However, credit to him, this is a man who knows the league. Yes, he got sacked, but he got sacked for being third. And I blame it all on Adrian Mutu.
Yes. And Abramovich was always going to bring in his own man.
Abramovich, you know, knew he was going to be gone after a while. But, you know, this is a man with great experience. He went back to Italy, you know, he knows what he's doing. Clever man, respected.
But he's always managed big clubs.
Yeah.
Previously to Leicester.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not always, but
Yeah.
but in recent years in his career, you say Chelsea and then
Yeah.
other sides in Italy
Yeah.
and so on. They were never sides that were perhaps going to be battling relegation.
No, if you look at his CV, he's not a big trophy winner, but he's been proven to be good at on occasion of steadying the ship at certain places.
Yeah.
I think it was a Parma who was, and he sort of basically sort of plugged the holes in that one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that boat is now
Well,
fundamentally
my goodness,
sunk.
yeah.
But it just takes me back to that sort of strange kind of Chelsea pre-history of sort of the early noughties side, just after the cup winners teams of Vialli, just before and slight overlap with Abramovich. And he got a couple of solid 6th place finishes. He essentially, Terry and Lampard, that's his team. You know what I mean? That was actually Ranieri's team.
Really?
So basically,
But with Leicester,
with Leicester,
he's going to be potentially in a relegation running, or is he? Can Leicester join that group of teams like Newcastle?
Yeah, there's a lot of competition.
You would imagine Newcastle wouldn't be looking. Well, they would hopefully, not for their sakes, not be looking too much over their shoulder like they were last year. You know, Stoke have strengthened. We talked about Swansea, Crystal Palace as well. Could they join that established group of Premier League clubs?
I'll tell you what,
That's what he's there to do.
Leicester don't have that much pressure.
No.
Compared to the Newcastles, I mean, you go to Newcastle, that's a huge. Steve McLaren cannot get relegated.
Yeah. It's his last chance, I think,
can't.
as a big,
He
club. I think.
He can't. There's no choice.
Well, Newcastle's almost like the England job in club form in a sort of sense. Do you know what I mean? At times.
Let's be easy there, mate.
No, but but in the sense of the ridiculous pressure that's on the manager, the poison chalice, or maybe you could argue that the Liverpool job or whatever. I don't know, but yes, in terms of the poison chalice, in terms of the ridiculous expectation, which is too much. Yeah,
Have you been to St James's Park?
I have.
It's a very big stadium.
It's enormous.
And it's the type of stadium you see it and you think, blimmin' hell, these guys should be in Europe.
And also,
Every year.
and they haven't won a trophy since the Fairs Cup in the '60s, and it just every time the years go by, it's a kind of enough. And they had a kind of, but
they are an established Premier League club. And do
I
you think that Ranieri will be able to get Leicester to that point, or will they be fighting a relegation run in this?
I think that's what he's there to do. As we were saying, he's got a history of sort of ship steadying.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of competition for those 3 places. I think that Leicester will be fine.
Yeah.
Interesting appointment. It's one from, we were just saying, one from a footballing point of view. They didn't actually have to do, but Pearson, I think, one press conference at a time.
You're going to miss Pearson, Joel, aren't you?
I'm going to miss him because, I mean, sometimes...
In fact, you already are.
I do, because sometimes, don't get me wrong, I don't condone all of his actions, but sometimes I think
Most
you need...
of them.
Yeah, sometimes I think you need a lunatic, just so you know that you're not going to stake out. Exactly.
Yeah,
just so you
says
know,
the man from Cheeky.
Just so you know what, he might strangle me if I do something like this.
Says the professional mischief maker.
That's right. That's right.
So sometimes I don't know. I think he's actually genuinely a good manager.
Yeah. Barcelona are leaking goals. They lost 4 goals against Sevilla in the Super Cup final, of course, but they won 5-4, and then against Athletic Bilbao in the Spanish Super Cup, they were beaten 4-0. 4-0, gentlemen. I mean, the second leg is still to come.
It's all to play for.
It is all to play for. They could win 5-4 like they did against Sevilla maybe. But they're leaking goals. I mean, are they the side that they were last season? It's only a couple of games in, but this is quite startling. So many goals, having won the treble last season and looked so dominant, Patrick. Would it be worrying times for Barcelona, or do you think this doesn't really matter?
I'm not sure in what esteem that sort of two-legged trophy is.
But they're both competitive games.
Yeah, they are both.
It's not like it's
competitive
pre-season.
games.
I mean, people may suggest that they are kind of like pre-season, but still.
Would you suggest that the kind of the MSN plaudits of last season maybe covered up, perhaps not the best back line in the world?
Yeah, that's Messi, Suarez and Neymar, by the way, not a half back to a previous messenger service. But
R.I.P.
Yeah.
You still get it at work sometimes.
What's that?
Yeah, you get in-house messenger service. It's basically messenger.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay, one for after the show, maybe.
Yeah.
But they're leaking goals, Joel. What do we think of this?
You know what? It's interesting because as we were saying earlier on, it's interesting what a difference a summer can make. My thoughts on their attacking three, I think there's no better attacking three in the world.
Absolutely.
And I think actually even better than the 2009 one, I think, when you had Henri, Messi and...
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because,
yeah, definitely. I think even more because I feel like they're all friends. I'm not there with them when they're, having breakfast. Well, yeah, basically, you know me, I'm on everyone's Instagram, so...
I think you can tell the best footballers by their Instagram.
Right.
Yeah, they're at home,
no, they do.
eating healthy.
They do. I think it's interesting when you look at their front three.
Yeah.
I still believe that Messi, Suarez and Neymar, it's the best front three you're going to get.
Yeah.
I mean, even better than previously with Henri, Eto'o and Messi, as you said. I think one of the reasons why it works is because, yes, they all have egos, but I think Messi had to humble himself in the nice way possible. And I reckon that's really helped the team. Back to what I think about Barcelona, I think it's got something to do with how they see Luis Enrique.
Right.
I don't know why.
Well, that's really interesting, isn't it? What you were saying was he doesn't seem to have that kind of same aura that Guardiola did, even though he has just won the treble as well.
Yeah.
Arguably, it is a better team in a lot of ways, and they've got more dimensions to their game.
Yeah.
They're happy to not have the ball.
Let me ask you a question, Patrick.
God. Right, this is what
you lose 4-0, right? Are you really afraid for your position, or when you're with this current manager? Compare that to Pep Guardiola.
I think, I'd say weirdly, as I say, I don't think he has that same sort of respect for some reason as Guardiola does. Not at this stage, no. But they are shipping goals, and it's a raised eyebrow at the moment rather than a full-on.
I'd agree with that. I mean, we had Messi reports that Messi fell out with Luis Enrique last season, and Messi, I think, was he taken off during a game, and it was all a bit, oh dear, Luis Enrique's going to go out
because Chelsea for 200
well, no,
million.
but because you
followed him on Instagram.
There we are. Once again, it's always the key. Yes, that's right. But with some players, of course, we see John Terry at Chelsea, Alan Shearer when he was at Newcastle. Some players have more power than the manager. And Messi, you would imagine, is one of those players at Barcelona who can facilitate a move for a manager elsewhere. But Luis Enrique, he stayed, obviously, and managed to sort out that situation, or the situation was sorted out, went on to win the treble. And under Luis Enrique, they do have, as you said, Patrick, a couple of different dimensions. They play quite a lot of counter-attacking football as well. They're not so obsessed as Pep Guardiola's Barcelona were of keeping the ball. When Guardiola moved on, and then eventually after Villanova, Tata Martino took over, there was a game where they had less possession than the opposition. They still won the game 4-0, and Gerard Piqué said, "We found a way to have a plan B, if you like." And under Luis Enrique, it does seem to look like that they have a few different options. So whether he's well respected or not, last season they were phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is why it's weird. This is why I can't actually tell you, what's going to happen. I think let's keep our eyes open, because it's when the chips are down that we'll really see what Barcelona are about. We'll really see what Luis Enrique is about. Because technically, as a treble winner, we should consider him world class, or maybe just under.
Well,
do you think
definitely, without a doubt.
But for some reason, I don't think that he comes first to your mind when we talk about world class man.
True, but they were trailing Real Madrid last year, and they managed to beat them, and that was Ancelotti's Real Madrid. Ancelotti, incredibly well respected.
And Madrid, Atletico were not no pushover last season either.
Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been a pleasure having you with us today. Patrick, always a chore, never a pleasure. I mean, always a pleasure, never a chore. And Joel from Cheeky Sport.
I just want to say big thanks to the boys, Marcus. Glad to see you again, Patrick.
Pleasure,
man.
Thanks,
Make sure you subscribe to Football Daily. Make sure you subscribe to Cheeky Sport.
That's
we
right.
love you, and we'll see you again.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah,
What he said.
What I said.
He's decent, isn't he?
Yeah.